Because if you truly believe that God is handling your life with care, you would be able to release the attachment you have to your desired outcome. And that's the mindset shift you need to go from what if to even if. Even if this happens, I will be okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 828 with Cait. I'm your host, Cait Taylor. And if you are new here, this is a faith-based podcast inspired by my favorite Bible verse, Romans 8:28. We know that all things, not just some things, work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. My mission is to give you big sister biblical advice and encouragement. And today we are going to be talking about one of my least favorite things in the whole world, uncertainty. I think we can all agree life is unpredictable. It does not matter how much you plan, prepare, or overthink. At some point, life's going to get you. Things are going to happen that you did not anticipate. Your plans are going to get interrupted. For many people, this triggers anxiety. Some of us, like myself, have developed OCD tendencies to try and manage that uncertainty, where your brain tells you that if you do this certain thing, you will feel more in control. Other people turn to horoscopes or tarot cards or fortune tellers searching for answers because we just want to know what's coming. But Ecclesiastes 8:7 says, since no one knows the future, who can tell someone else what is to come? James 4:14 says, how do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It is here a little while, and then it is gone. The problem is that so many of us believe if we could just get to certainty, then we would feel at ease. If only I could know for sure. If only I could guarantee that fill in the blank. I recently heard a neuropsychologist say that the best definition for anxiety is that anxiety is a disturbed relationship with certainty. In other words, the more we obsess over needing to know, the more anxious we become. We start falling into what she called the overs. Overthinking, overworking, overscheduling, over-engineering, over-communicating. All of that overdoing comes from one thing: fear. We fear uncertainty. So we convince ourselves that if we just overdo it by planning or preparing, we can somehow engineer certainty in the world around us. But this psychologist said something that really woke me up. She said, look at the math of your own life. When you've been overthinking a situation, did you solve that problem? Or did you just end up with more problems to think about? Because if overthinking actually worked, we would all be problem-free by now, right? Except that never happens. In the pursuit of certainty to ease our anxiety, we actually end up making ourselves more anxious. So, what's a better solution? Studies show that people who tolerate uncertainty have far less anxiety and depression, and they also bounce back faster when stressful things happen. My therapist told me that the goal is not to eliminate uncertainty, it's to increase our tolerance for it. And the good news is that's something we can build, like a muscle. So today I want to share 5 tips that I'm also using to become more comfortable with uncertainty and finally find peace even when life feels out of control. Number 1, acceptance. We must come to terms with the fact that there is no such thing as 100% certainty in life. The only thing that is truly certain is that life is uncertain. It rarely goes as planned. So what if instead of fighting that, because you are fighting a losing battle, you decided, I am going to accept uncertainty? Acceptance doesn't mean that you stop caring or planning altogether. It just means you stop being such a control freak. You stop demanding that life behave in a certain way. When we finally admit, I can't control everything. God did not design me to. I am not supposed to. And that's okay. In that surrender, you will actually find relief because you can finally take a break from doing a job that you were never supposed to do. Number 2, reframe uncertainty as the beauty of life. For a long time, I had a very negative association with surprises because most of the surprises in my childhood were not good ones. I was the kid who would sneak into my mom's wardrobe. I would secretly open my Christmas presents and then wrap them back up again because I needed to know. I did not want to be caught off guard by anything. When you grow up in chaos or trauma, unpredictability stops feeling exciting. It just feels dangerous. You start to live life braced for the next bad thing to happen. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But now my therapist helped me see that uncertainty isn't always bad. Sometimes it's actually where the beauty is. If you are a reader, you know that a good twist in a book is often the best part of the story. If you go to see a movie and you can already predict the ending, it's kind of boring. You want to be surprised, and it should be the same way in our lives. Some of the twists and turns that we didn't see coming can end up being the moments where God shows up in ways that we couldn't have written ourselves. Part of building my tolerance for uncertainty has been reflecting on times in my life where I was surprised, which is very hard to do, by the way. You cannot get something past me. I am a little FBI detective. I look into everything. But I think about the times in my life where someone or something did manage to surprise me, and it was a good thing. I really recommend this practice. Spend time sitting and thinking about a surprise birthday party you had, or an unexpected gift, or when you met a new friend out of the blue. Anything that happened that was both unexpected and positive. Then next time you are faced with something that is causing you anxiety because you don't know all of the information, say for example, your boss calls you and tells you they need to speak to you on Friday, instead of spiraling because you are unsure about what's going on, you can remind yourself that just because you don't know exactly what's happening doesn't mean that what's happening is bad. What if it's actually good? Maybe your boss wants to give you a raise or commend you on your good work. Number 3, focus on building confidence in your ability to handle life. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can trust in your ability to get through it. Part of the reason I have struggled so much with uncertainty is because I think if XYZ happened, I don't know how I would cope. But if you think about it, life has already thrown you so many curveballs that you didn't think you would be able to cope with, and yet here you are. A few years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. That was one of those life-altering events that felt too big for us to handle at the time. But we handled it. You are more capable than you think. And that's the mindset shift you need to go from what if to even if. Even if this happens, I will be okay. Even if the worst case scenario plays out, God is still good. Even if things don't go how I planned, God will meet me wherever I end up. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You don't need certainty about what's next when you have certainty about who is with you. The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Number 4, instead of trying to engineer peace, trust God for it. Peace is not something we have to create or manufacture for ourselves. It's just something we receive. Jesus said in John 14:27, I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. The world's version of peace is conditional. It says you can have peace when everything is stable, when the bills are paid, when the relationship is good, when the diagnosis is clear. That's not peace, it's control. It's reliant on everything being okay. God's peace is constant, despite your circumstances. When I was sat in the doctor's office with my mom when she received her diagnosis, my mom stayed completely calm. They told her it was cancer, and she said she felt peace fall over her like a blanket, to the point where her doctor was confused because she knew my mom to be generally a stress head. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:7, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. God's peace surpasses understanding because it doesn't make sense. It's not the kind of peace you get after a problem is solved. It's the kind you can have in the middle of it. In the book of Acts, Paul and Silas are chained up in prison, and yet they are praying and singing hymns to God. That's supernatural peace, the kind that doesn't add up on paper, the kind that you cannot plan or prepare or overthink your way into. Number 5, remind yourself that ultimately everything is in God's hands. A lot of us are trying to fly this plane when we are not even the ones in the cockpit. What a waste of time and energy. We are sat here panicking in the passenger seat, trying to take the controls from literally the greatest pilot of all time, because we don't trust our pilot. This is a painful truth, but worry at its core is distrusting God. It's our way of saying, I'm not sure you're going to get this right, God. I don't know if your plan is best, so I'm just going to micromanage it. I'm going to make sure it all works out. Do you not believe when He declares, I know the plans I have for you? Plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future? Do you not believe when He says, all things work together for good to those who love God? Maybe your need for control is less to do with uncertainty and more to do with the fact that you don't fully believe those promises yet. Because if you truly believe that God is handling your life with care, you would be able to release the attachment you have to your desired outcome. You'd accept the possibility that your desired outcome may not even be the best outcome at all. Surrender requires humility to accept that we do not know everything, and faith to accept that God does. Isaiah 46:10 says He declares the end from the beginning, Nothing catches him off guard. So you don't need to know every answer. You just need to stay close to the one who does. I can't tell you what will happen in our lives this week, and no one else can tell you either. No person, no horoscope, no tarot cards can foresee the future. Only God. And I think it's by His grace that He doesn't tell us everything at once. We could not handle all of that info. Knowing everything that will happen in our lifetime, it would overwhelm us. So God says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I want to end this episode by telling you about a revelation I had recently. If you have watched past episodes, you probably know that I have a tendency to worry about illness and all of these uncertainties with my health, right? Some people call it health anxiety or health OCD. A couple of months ago, I realized that at some point, something hard is going to happen because that's life. We don't know what or when. It could be sickness, it could be something else, but it's inevitable. And when it does, I will wish that I did not spend all of the peaceful days leading up to it living in fear of that moment. Trying to tackle tomorrow's battles before they come doesn't protect us. It just steals the joy out of today. And while we are so busy trying to control the uncontrollable, we are missing what's right here, the precious present. Psalm 118 verse 24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." So my encouragement to you is to surrender up tomorrow. Take a deep breath. Relax and enjoy today. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you're tuning in today. If this episode was helpful, please leave a comment, let me know, and I will see you not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. Until next time, God bless you guys.